Hi, I'm James from the Think Group, and I've got Nigel with me today, who's from the West Country with Think. And we're in a unique position because we're both managers, but we also sell as well. Okay, Nigel, the Anthony Morris course, your views?
I think it's extremely good value. Value in the sense of cost-wise, but also in the amount of time as well. Being down in the West Country is a bit of time sort of travelling up to the courses, but it's extremely worthwhile. I think that the real benefits that I've got from this course over other courses I've been on, and been in the industry sort of 20 years, I've been to a few of them, is that there's actually some follow-up on the course. And that follow-up is by actually producing literature that you can actually use, and you can go onto the website and download that information. But I've also found very beneficial is the memory joggers. As I say, it's a little bit sort of isolated down in the West Country, but to be able to just go on and actually sort of see Anthony there, and it just sort of refreshes in your mind and sort of brings that enthusiasm back. And things that often, in the past have been on courses, you think, oh, well, that's really good, you make the notes, go back into the office, put it away, it's on the filing cabinet or somewhere, and then it's sort of just left there. With this, because you can actually go back in, and actually, because you've got the visual there, I think it really actually helps to sort of consolidate.
I think you're right. A lot of the courses that I've been on before have been very rah-rah, very funny, amusing, with an obvious theme in there, but 2 weeks later you've really forgotten what happened. Whereas, as you say, with the memory joggers, it's always there in front of you whenever you need it, and to be able to use. When you say it's cost effective, how did you find that?
Well, I found it, initially it was probably different than I've had in the past. Courses have just been provided and you say, yeah, I'll go on it or I won't go on it.
Yes.
With this, it was a case of, well, hang on, you've got to focus, because it's saying, right, there's going to be a cost. You actually have to pay for the course up front. If you do X amount of business, then that's going to be refunded to you. Yes. But I looked at it as being just as a straight cost. Then I looked at saying, well, okay, how much is it going to cost me for the course and time out? But then how much business is it going to produce? And that business being in business that I write myself, because I'm under wealth management, on recruiting new people into the business as well. And the cost is minimal to the rewards you're actually getting back. The personal business that I've written has increased twofold since I've been on the course. And also when I'm now talking to recruits as well, I can actually explain to them, the Anthony Morris, what it's offered, but I can actually do it with sort of real meaning and conviction, because I know that it's actually working, and I've done it, and I'm quite happy to talk to them about cases where it's come in.
Okay, yeah. Which parts of the course have you used more than anything else, do you think?
One of the bits that I found very useful was actually people's perception of what I do, in work-wise, and this is like socially and with clients. Yeah. And I think it was one of the early modules, as you sort of say, don't say, oh, you're in financial services, or you do things like that. So I'm very careful now when people actually ask what I do. I sort of think about the setting that we're in, and also if I'm looking for business from them or recruitment, and then describe myself or what I do in different ways. And that's something that I've taken on. And it took me a while to start with, actually, and I had to keep sort of practicing it. And a couple of times I sort of said to people, and they had a vague look in their face, and I know that's what I was meant to be trying to achieve from actually standing up there. Yeah. But it is a case of then sort of reverting, oh, well, this is what I do, the easy explanation, which now I sort of leave it in their mind saying, well, what's he really do? And then letting the conversation go on from there.
Of course, yeah.
So I found that really good.
Where it's helped me the most is where I'm working with other businesses as well, and we talk about business planning as being an important aspect, and you ask people for their business plan, and they've got where they are now and what they want to earn in a year's time. Whereas what I found here with the templates that are provided in really working out a business plan from basics about the type of client you see, the type of client you want to see, the premium levels, the activity per week. So you really got a structured business plan for a whole year or longer if you want, but I think a year's enough. But with benchmarks in between that you can go back to. And that's what the course has provided me with, is a lot of those templates, things that we've talked about in the past, but you really didn't know what the process to go through to get there. And I think that's made a big difference.
Do you use those templates on an ongoing basis with
I do.
individuals as well?
Each time I go back, part of the session is to bring out those templates and look at where we are now. I said benchmarking all the time. Right. And if necessary, after 3 months, you can then move the business plan on 3 months as well.
Yeah.
But the other thing as well is technology, and we take it for granted that we've got mobile phones and the internet. But I remember from the first session that when Tony said, how about texting the clients after you come out of the sale, on the way, text them so they receive the text when they're in the office so they can talk to their friends about it. And I found that really, really worked. Having set up text now so that I can just press the button, it goes to the client, thank you for the call, I'll be in touch with you in the next few days. And they really like it. Yeah.
That's interesting, because I know that, well, along the similar lines, they're using technology, although I use email a lot sort of work-wise, but again with sort of the clients and my own personal clients and on recruitment, is actually just using the email a lot more, and the text,
yes.
exactly the same. And I've been a positive response. It's probably taken the clients that I'm dealing with much more into a friendly environment, in the sense they say, oh yeah, great, thanks for that, and it relaxes the situation for the next meeting.
Indeed, yeah.
Yeah.
And the other area as well was rewarding clients. I'd occasionally on a new purchase take a bunch of flowers around to a client, but now on every completion that I have on a mortgage, I send 2 bottles of wine in a wooden case, and that costs me £25. And when you consider based on the commission you get, but when you go back there, that is talked about, and referrals start to come because they've told friends about it, and friends then want to see you. So yeah.
So well, I haven't actually done that. Maybe I need to start doing that a bit more with the clients. But what I have done is within the team down in Truro office is I've relayed the sort of the message that's come out, and I know that 2 of the people are actually doing that. One uses champagne, one uses wine,
yes.
And they are actually getting leads, and that's actually increasing their sort of productivity. So.
Sure.
And I'm sure they're going to be on the course next year, and so they're seeing a bit of the benefit that's coming through. As well. A
lot of these groups as well, there have been established businesses that have been going for sort of 6, 10, 12 years. And one of the other areas that came out was the letters that Tony has provided within that pack. Especially the letter goes out to the clients that you haven't seen for more than 4 years. Because we've started sending those out, and the response has been incredible. 30-40% response from people actually saying, yes, I appreciate we haven't seen for a long time, but give me a ring, or I'd like to make an appointment. Yeah.
That's the great part about it. Of course, there's so much in there. You can actually be looking to use it in different ways, isn't it? And then sort of remember, think, right, I'll go back in, look at the memory jogger, and go back through it. Yeah,
I just find that all the time there is more and more, because if I go back into the module and start looking, I find something different than to start talking about at the next meeting.